Oh, so we got a new little speaker set up for the computer over there because that's a whole new setup being kind of built right now. And I wanted better sound because if I'm editing there, I really want to be able to hear what I'm editing. That's kind of important, I think. Anyways, I got this one here. Now, this is designed for you to discover the next level of gaming immersion alongside the comfort of home theater. What does that mean? I don't really know. Anyways, you guys hopefully can see some information up here in regards to it, right? This is the model number. It's a 3.1 system, so 2 speakers and a sub. There's your driver, distortion, etc., etc., etc. This is by the company Meredo, and you guys may be able to see some information down here on the bottom if you want to be able to reach out to them. Actually, I just got this on Amazon, so, and yes, I bought it. This is probably one of the, I want to say, best prices that I could find for something like this that was designed as a computer speaker. I didn't necessarily want a big sound bar because I don't have a lot of space, but I did want the sub. So because of that, I also wanted to make sure that it had all the proper kind of computer magnetic shielding and stuff like that, which I'm hoping this does. Anyways, this is the Meredo G38 ultra thin soundbar gaming system for home cinema and gaming. Ultra thin 3.1 channel, has built-in RGB lighting because who doesn't want some good RGB lighting? USB audio transfer and a Bluetooth 5.3. So looks pretty sharp. Anyways, let's take a look at what comes in the box. Now on Amazon, this was, I think with coupon, like 100, this is Canadian prices, was $109. So it's kind of hard to complain about 109 bucks. You know, that's seems like a pretty nice price point. So I'm just going to open this up for us. And then we're going to, of course, go set it up over in the other room. So what do you get here? Well, you get a nice box of goodies. Anyways, this, just so you guys can see, it's probably hard for you guys to see up at the top camera, so I'll kind of show you here. This is going to be your remote. You are going to get a USB-A to USB-A cable, your headphone jack style cable. It looks like a whole bunch of like little stand clampy things. I don't know. And you are going to get an optical cable, which is cool. You get an HDMI cable, which is cool. And you get the, I'm guessing this is the, don't drop that. I'll be looking for that later for sure. Oh, I'm too old for crawling under the table. Too old for that. Anyways, you're going to get your power plug. Yes, power plug. Because that's important because that's how you power it up. Yes, I'm going to put this all back for when I try to figure out how to set this up. Then you get, this must be your sub. Oh no, it's everything. It's everything. It's all of it. So you are going to get a little manual. So you guys can see a manual there, which is excellent. Okay. And this is like a 2-in-1 package. And the nice thing is, I have to say, the soundbar, for me, this is exactly what I wanted. It's small. Yes? Like it's tiny. You guys can see that, right? It's not very thick by any means. It's got all your ports on the back. Let me just take it out of the bag here. So it should have a nice like pass through. So you got your optical, your HDMI, your headphone jack, your USB, and it looks like these are your right and left. It says they look like USB-C connectors, but I'm not sure what that is. And your sub out, which is good. You do also have on here the ability to mount this onto a wall. Now for me, this is just going to get mounted underneath my monitor. So that should be okay. And I'll move that off to the side. Then you're going to get the actual sub. So decent sized sub. Like it's not crazy large, but again, for my needs, I think this is going to be perfect. And you guys can see, I can put that just right there. It looks like a really big Xbox Series S, you know, because it has this little sub thing on the side, which is cool. There's going to be what's going to go out to your sub receiver on the soundbar, and rear firing, of course. Anything else? Nope. Feet on the bottom. It's because you need feet on the bottom to put this. So depending on how you want to hook this up, this of course is going to go in here. And then for me, I'm going to probably headphone jack it in, which would be all I probably need coming out of the Mac, right? So bring that down, right? My headphone jack. And then you could put HDMI in as well if you wanted to. I guess that would be coming out of an HDMI receiver, or if you had audio coming out of HDMI, because there isn't two HDMIs, so I can't see it as being like a pass through or anything like that, especially when I talk about home theater. You do have an optical in as well, which is great. So if you want to be able to bring in optical sound, these, of course, in my opinion, should all be audio ins. As well as USB. So if you have some, MP3s or whatever on a USB stick, you could plug them straight into this. All right, it should be nice and simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over there, set it up, and we'll see what it sounds like. All right, guys. So I've got it all set up here. I think you can possibly see it down here. Now, one of the things that comes in the box that comes with this is almost like little feet so that you can have this up, because as you can see, the actual RGB strip is underneath. So kind of a weird spot, because if you were sitting this just down on the table like this, you really wouldn't be able to see it. But because of the way I have it set up here on my actual monitor feet, it works pretty good. It's not crazy bright, but it's fine, right? It's fine. You do have the ability to kind of come through here. There's a little display in the front. So if you want Bluetooth, you have it. You have your optical, you have your PC. I believe that's like your HDMI. And then or ARC, sorry, that's HDMI. And then you have auxiliary, which would be like the headphone jack in, which is what I have mine set up to. You can, of course, just turn this off if you don't want it. And then you have that little sub for me that goes down here. Now, listening to it, if you were to take the sub away, it's definitely more focused on the highs. It definitely has some highs and some mids, but definitely the highs. There's not a lot of low ends that are coming out of this at all. But that's why you have the sub, right? Now, the sub actually does put out a fair bit of low end. It's actually quite good at that low end sound. So mixing the two is good. Now, one of the things that I would recommend is if you look at the sub down there, it has the forward firing as well as the side firing. Now, for me right now, I have that side firing out that direction, just because of where I have my tripod and all that mounted. But I will probably move it so that that side firing is facing more toward me. So I may put it on this side of the desk to fire this way, so I get more of that low end. But sound quality is pretty good. I do find if you're not listening to it loud, like if you're listening to it fairly low, volume wise, that the sub doesn't play. You don't hear the sub very much. You really only hear that sub when you get that volume up, like midway to really pumping out. So I would like to have heard this be a bit more prominent with some of that low end. But if you are going to be using this to have more volume, then I think that sub with this actually play very well together. It's just when you're listening to something low, like volume wise, so it's quiet, really all you hear is this. Now, you could, of course, take your sub and put it up here on the desk, and then you probably would hear it just fine. But it's fairly big, so I don't know if that's something that I would necessarily want. We'll see. I may place it up here in the corner just to hear what it sounds like. But that's somewhere that you could place this. If you have that ability to place it up here, I think that wouldn't be a bad idea. Now, they talk about this being like a PC 3.1 system, like a gaming PC system or a home theater system. I don't think it's prominent enough. I don't think it's got a full enough sound coming out of this soundbar to really be a home theater speaker setup. I think for gaming and using it for what I'm going to use it for, it's going to be perfectly fine. Again, it only comes in at just over $100 Canadian, so you really can't ask for too much. But if you were buying this being like, you know what, this is going to be the best home theater system that you can get. No, you're going to be able to find definitely better ones. I've bought much bigger sound bars. I've actually used bigger soundbar from these guys that actually sounds considerably better than this. And it was a soundbar that didn't come with a sub. So, for a bit more money,
you could get something like that. But because of my limited space here, I think this was a good option. Anyways, I'm gonna leave you guys there. It's pointless me just playing some sound with this because you can ready for some sound. Like, I don't know if you can hear that, but it's decent, right? It's decent. So, but you can even hear that sub coming in there. So I do think I'm going to try to move this sub up higher just to see if I can get that deep, deep growl coming in from up here instead of down there. All right, guys, I'm going to leave links below to where you can pick this up. I think at the $100 price point, 110, which is what I picked it up. It's not a bad investment. If you're looking at home theater quality, no, there's definitely better ones out there. But in regards to limited space on the desk and coming with a sub at that price point, I think it's a fairly good unit. All right, guys, links down below, and that's it for me. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next video. Later.